The Subaru XV, well now the Subaru Crosstrek, has been the brand's most popular models in quite a while. And you must be wondering, why do you see a lot of these cars on the road for the first generation, the second generation, and I'm sure this one, a lot of people are going to buy them. But again, we got to answer the question, why are people still buying this thing with the onset of newer competition? We're going to find out right now. What's going on, guys? Roy Robles here from Zigwheels.Ph, and today we'll be taking a closer look and review the all-new 2024 Subaru Crosstrek. Starting off with the design of the Subaru Crosstrek, this honeycomb grille right here, it definitely melds well with the front clip. You got this wing design up front that's painted in piano black, plus you've got these LED headlamps, these halogen fog lamps. These things light up and they act as the DRL. You've got these washers as well, so that you can wash away whatever dirt or mud that you have right here on the headlamps whenever you want to take this off-roading. And you should, because this one right here has 220 millimeters of ground clearance, one of the highest in its segment. Overall, I like how this looks. It's not plain at all. It definitely shouts out that you have a Subaru and you're proud of it, and I like that. Let's head on over to the side right here, because there's a lot of details here that I want to show you that really makes the Subaru Crosstrek stand out from the rest of the pack. Right, so now we really haven't reviewed the Subaru WRX just yet, but if you're familiar with that model, you see a couple of design features in the Crosstrek that was inspired by its more performance-oriented stablemate. For example, you got this black plastic cladding right here on the wheel arches, and it actually envelops the entire car, the lower section. But right here, you actually got these holes there on the black plastic cladding right here on the over fenders, giving it a little bit more aerodynamics. Those are actual and functional design features that have carried over to the Crosstrek from the WRX. Now, I like how the panels are well placed here. It definitely shows you a lot of craftsmanship placed here, because this definitely is made in Japan. In fact, it says right there on the nameplate, it's proudly made in Japan. Now, this again is the entry-level L variant, so you got 17-inch alloy wheels instead of 18 inches. But hey, you don't hear me complaining about 17 inches, because with those 17 inches, you've got 225 R17 tires. So those are really chunky tires right there. And they still have the aforementioned 220 millimeters of ground clearance to work with. So yes, even though you have the smaller wheels, this one, you can definitely take it off-road because of Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive system. It's probably the only crossover SUV in the market right now with such a system, and this one is a complete winner for me. So right here in the rear section of the Subaru Crosstrek, we can see a lot more of the design details I actually appreciate about this all-new model. For example, you got these LED tail lamps that kind of resemble those lobster claws or those crab claws, and I love that design. You got more of those black plastic claddings right here at the back. You got actual air vents with holes in them right next to the reflectors right there at the bottom, and a nice aggressive looking rear diffuser. You got this nice chunky spoiler up top. You got a shark's fin antenna, and of course this new Crosstrek badge. Let's take a look and see how practical this crossover really is. Lifting up this manual tailgate, if you want to get a power tailgate, you'll have to step up to the S variant. This is of course the entry-level L one. All right, so we got all this space in the back. As you can see, I've already folded the rear seats down. To me, the Subaru Crosstrek is in its element if you have it in this configuration. My problem with this though is that you got a high loading height. The reason behind this is they don't want to, compromise the ground clearance of this thing, so they have to put the spare tire up top. But overall, the exterior appearance of the Subaru Crosstrek for me is certainly special. It makes it distinct from the rest of the competition, and I like its rugged macho appeal. It's rugged without acting rugged, if you get what I mean. It doesn't have to try so hard to make it look this macho looking. All right, so we're inside the Subaru Crosstrek, and right off the bat, the first thing that's gonna jump right at you here is this huge, vertically placed touchscreen infotainment system with both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but only wireless Apple CarPlay. There's no wired Apple CarPlay, and wired Android Auto, and no wireless Android Auto. So that's a pretty weird situation if you ask me. Also, the icons in the screen seem to be a bit dated if you ask me. But again, this is a pretty responsive touchscreen infotainment system. If you need to fully control your AC, they are here located on the touchscreen, right there on the bottom. Still have your manual gauge clusters here. I wouldn't have it any other way. Subarus have always been about being a straightforward all-wheel drive vehicle, and just having this huge touchscreen right here is gaudy enough for a Subaru to be quite fancy. Steering wheel is nice and chunky. You don't have any D-shaped steering wheels right here, but I like the overall design. It really is, like I said, straightforward, and you got more buttons here. One more thing that you have right here is you got this space for your phone. You got a USB-C port and a USB-A port right there, and an aux jack. Behind the steering wheel, by the way, you've got these plastic paddle shifters. This is actually a CVT, but it definitely gives you a good impression of shifting, or actually gives you a simulated sensation of shifting your gears, and does a good job at that. You got a manual shifter. It's not manual transmission, it's a manual shifter, no drive-by-wire here, and of course a electronic parking brake there as well. If you're wondering where the automatic brake hold function is, you got the automatic brake hold right here on the touchscreen infotainment system. The seats are nicely sculpted. They're very ergonomic, if not a bit, well, they're nicely bolstered too, but they're wide and they're very comfortable. Now, Subaru engineers have designed these seats and to work with a suspension where whenever you're doing some hard cornering, your head won't actually move from side to side. So your head's going to act like some sort of gimbal. It's going to act like some sort of balanced device right there. So you definitely know where your head is going. And in effect, what that's going to do is that you're going to be less nauseated when you're driving. Here, let's take a look at the second row seat and see how that goes for the passengers. You have this really huge center tunnel because that's where the drive shaft is going to be. So you really can't expect this to have a flat floor in the back. And although it can accommodate 3 people, I don't think it can accommodate 3 of me. So if I sit in the middle here, I have to deal with that huge center tunnel, which is a no-go for me. So if I were ever to be a passenger here in the Subaru Crosstrek, I would either be here on the front seat. You still have a lot of space for your knees, as you can see here. It is what it is. At least you have a lot of space. All right, so let's take this out for a spin and see how the Subaru Crosstrek drives. All right, so we're now behind the wheel of the 2024 Subaru Crosstrek. So under the hood, you've got a 2-liter naturally aspirated engine that makes 155 horsepower and 197 Nm of torque. Now, since this is a Subaru, this has symmetrical all-wheel drive. Putting power to all 4 wheels is a continuously variable transmission, and the power delivery is pretty linear, I gotta say. I mean, it is refreshing to drive a very capable, naturally aspirated vehicle. The all-wheel drive system helps you with being more confident while driving. If you can hear that motorcycle outside, it's actually pretty muted here. You got some great NVH in the Subaru Crosstrek. The noise is definitely kept at a minimum. Harshness is fine, and because of the independent suspension all around, this is probably one of the best cars you can use if you're driving to the pockmarked roads of Metro Manila. Fuel economy in the Subaru Crosstrek. So in the city, you can get around 7 kilometers per liter in the city, which is exactly what I got. And on the highway, you get 13 to 14 kilometers per liter on the highway, which is all right. Just make sure that you don't mash the throttle right there, because you can achieve a certain level of fuel economy in the Subaru Crosstrek. Again, just don't expect this to be as fuel efficient as a hybrid, or probably as fuel efficient as a smaller car. This, after all, is a fun adventure SUV. When it comes to safety, Subaru is certainly proud of their EyeSight technology. EyeSight is their suite of active and passive safety features. It gives you lane keep assist, forward collision warning, forward collision mitigation system. It even has adaptive cruise control, and of course, if you activate advanced cruise control, the lane keep assist actually does a stellar job with keeping you on your lane. You still have your basic safety features. You got 7 airbags, ABS with electronic brake force distribution. You got traction control, stability control, a backup camera, and rear backup sensors. Pricing for the Subaru Crosstrek starts at 1,998,000 pesos. This is for the L variant. This is the one that we're reviewing right now, and that's the entry-level variant. Now, but if you want to get additional features like power seats, full LED lighting, you got a wireless charger, you can get the top-of-the-line S variant. That is available for 2,018,000 pesos. Again, you're not going to feel shortchanged if you're getting the L variant. Now, if you're in the market for the Subaru Crosstrek, if you're already thinking about getting a Subaru Crosstrek, you might as well already have bought one already, because the Subaru Crosstrek, in my opinion, really isn't much of a logical choice per se. It's more of an emotional quality. It tries to tug in your heartstrings by just being as it is. It's not trying to win you over with great performance, with blistering 0 to 100 kilometers per hour times, or good fuel economy or space. It wins you over by being itself. It's a rugged, tough, and of course a capable crossover SUV. Of all the crossover SUVs in the market, this would probably be the most sporty, the most SUV, the toughest one that you can get right now, because of the increased ride height, the all-wheel drive, and the driving dynamics. It's just, if there's any company that's proven to master all-wheel drive with the four-cylinder boxer engine, it's Subaru. So that's my review of the Subaru Crosstrek. Does it have what it takes to stand against more affordable and more powerful competition in the market today? I believe that it might not be the most powerful, but it certainly is one of the more capable ones. Drop me a comment in the comment section down below. Tell me what you think. Subscribe to our channel and hit that notification icon so you wouldn't miss any of our videos. This is Roy Robles from Zigwheels.Ph, and I will see you guys next time.